Hi, Ramel.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I am doing great. Thank you for this time today to talk a little bit more about Joan's House, what this means to you. First, I want to start by thanking you for your service and commitment to this labor of love, labor of passion, and labor of community. So throughout our time today, really the framing is to just get a little bit more context about what Joan's House is, who you are, what you've done, and then maybe even some future goals that the organization has for the community as well. So to kind of kick us off and get us started, for those who may not know, aside of Joan's House, who Ramel even is, can you tell us who Ramel Williams is?
Who is Ramel Williams? Well, Ramel is a guy from Rochester, New York. I grew up in Rochester, New York, upstate New York. Shout out to the 585. Born and raised there all the way through high school. And I guess just to start it off, I've always just kind of had a passion for being of service, even when I was younger, because I grew up around that. So my dad was always involved in the community and mentorship and all those things. And then my grandma, Joan, always also had a big heart and passion for people. So that was instilled in me from a very young age. So went through serving in different capacities. As early as middle school, I remember joining Key Club, which is my first formal community service organization, which is a national community service-based organization for people to get involved as young people, then giving back. So that's where it all began. Joined student government, was the president of the class for 3 years until graduation. And so I went to my dream school, New York University, where I was able to expand even more. So I joined different organizations while I was there, like Black Student Union, served on the e-board there. Joined the illustrious Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, where we chartered a chapter, actually, which was a lot of fun. Served as a vice president there, and always was just getting involved in the community and always giving back and looking for ways to pour back into those coming up behind me, but then also all those around me. And then from there, I had the time of my life there, started my career in the nonprofit sector there at Harlem Children's Home, where I worked with a lot of youth and young people who had aspirations to go to college, or so high school students, and then also those continuing through college. That was my first job, and that was in the nonprofit sector. And again, it just fed me. It fed me in so many different ways, and building those relationships with the people that I was serving. So I spent my time there until I wanted to grow and expand myself. How can I make more of an impact? How can I do more? How can I be more effective in this world, in this space? So then I applied to, and luckily got into, George Washington University, the Trachtenberg School of Public Administration and Public Policy. So I got my master's degree there, concentrated in budget and public finance, nonprofit management, After that, I went to a consulting firm doing public sector work for the federal government. And then that's when I realized that it was time for me to start planting my seeds even here in my new community, my new home, which is the DMV. I bought it all in Prince George's County, and I wanted to continue to do the work that I've always done throughout my life. So how do I get started? How do I do that? And that's the precipice of Joan's House, Snake.
Love that. Thank you for painting that picture for us. And I think it's really beautiful how you connect the dots between just what started as passion, love for community, and transfer that very love to the community that you live and reside in today to impact this area that we know as DMV, Prince George's County as well.
When I think of Prince George's County, I just think of an example of hope. For me, especially, I've always been really connected to my communities that I feel connected to. And Prince George's County is kind of heard about growing up. But it looked very different than my hometown, because there I think I got more of an idea of what a Black family structure looked like, and like what it meant to have access to different opportunities and have wealth within your community. And that was something that I always I just love that idea. I love that foundation. And that was an example of something that I grew up around in Rochester. So just to hear about it, for one, it was just a place where I know that there's like Black excellence and people who want to do more, achieve more, strive for more, have examples of more. So Prince George's County, to me, it's a beautiful place full of hope, and I think it's full of possibility, and I think it's full of amazing, beautiful people. But I think there's also a lot of opportunity for more growth and more resources and more inspiration in Prince George's County.
When you speak of that opportunity, of course, Joan's House is central to being a cornerstone or anchor or pillar per se in the community and making that happen. So even as a newer organization, how do you connect the dots between this community that is beautiful, family-oriented, loving, all the things you just said to describe it, and the hopes and dreams of Joan's House?
For sure.
So how does your mission help bridge that gap and where you're looking to go with the organization?
Definitely. So while there are already existing examples of success and, great family home foundations and structures and mentorship and people to look up to, there's also still a lot of the issues in Prince George's County that we face in a lot of other communities that are underrepresented or underserved across America. So the way where Joan's House comes in, from my thought, is there are people who still may not feel that while this is something that exists and it's something that's possible, it's not something that maybe I can achieve or I can reach, or I've had it and I've lost it. And I've gone through struggles and life has not been easy for me. So I've fallen upon hard times and I just need a little bit of help. I just need someone to help bridge the gap. What resource, and the way that Joan's House comes into play is what resources can we provide to help make you live your fullest and best life? Whether that be a youth who is looking for ways to connect to people who are in their professional fields, or if they want to go to college but they don't know how, or how can I afford it, or I don't have anyone that believes in me or pushes me day to day to reach my fullest potential. I think that's something that Joan's House can come in and help with. And then all the way up to our senior citizens, like I said, who worked hard their entire lives, who may have fallen on hard times, have lost family members, or, just don't have the same capacity they had when they were younger. How can we help them live a nice, comfortable life? You've done your duty. You've given back. You've done your just due for the community. So how can we do our just due for you? So now that you can live a nice, full, comfortable life. And I think that's where Joan's House comes in.
Yeah. And I love that intersectionality. One of the things I talk a lot about is this cross-generational angle that Joan's House has that I think is really beautiful, because it starts with those who are like the youngest of our communities and those who are the most seasoned in our community, and help bridge that gap of relationship, but also perspective, which I think is really beautiful as an organization too. So with you not being from PG, coming into this community, wanting to do all this impactful work through an organization like Joan's House, what type of partnerships is that governmental? What kind of relationships have helped you catapult this work in that community?
For sure. For starters, I think the fraternity helped me just kind of plant my roots and meet people who are already doing the work and are connected to it. Because naturally, it's just one of the missions of the organization as a fraternity to give back. So I was able to meet a lot of like-minded people that way, for starters. So that was the first thing. Because I think actually when I first got my job here, and my first job in DC, it was through a brother who put me onto this opportunity, who's connected. And I was able to get a job in higher education when I was an academic advisor students at GW through the fraternity. So just even that was a step in, I would say, into this space. So that definitely helped. But then since then, through the fraternity and otherwise, I've met other folks. So now we work very closely with the county council. So in particular, Chairman Edward Burrows has been a great partner for us, because we've been able to share our visions. We've been able to, we have a shared mission about what we want to do and the impact that we want to make in our community. And he believes in our organization. He believes in the work that we do. But he believes in our ability to be transformative and to take on new initiatives full force and know that the work is going to be done with integrity. So we've gotten a great deal of support from the county council, folks across the council, even people like Councilwoman Crystal Oriada and the work she's doing and all those different things. So that's been a great partnership for us. But then also, like I mentioned, there's a lot of other different smaller organizations and community-based organizations in Prince George's County doing the work. So we've collaborated with people like the Denny House, who did great work for the youth in Prince George's County. And then also the different chapters of AKA and Alpha Phi Alpha here, who are joined in our effort to want to pour back into our youth. They conduct workshops and we cross-collaborate on those things. Even with churches, we've collaborated with Reverend Pastor Q. Lattimore Williams, and she's done great work around domestic violence and food insecurity in Prince George's County. So also just giving back between and collaborating with different grassroots organizations that have a shared mission and a shared goal has been something that has been transformative and very helpful for us as a new organization to propel us forward in a shared mission with those folks that are doing work here in the community.
No, love that. And one of the things I've come to know very quickly in this work is that we are definitely stronger together. and especially when we talk about resource allocation, and really just trying to best serve the people out of the community and not just duplicate, we can get a lot further if we kind of come together with the shared mission and vision. Speaking of mission and vision of Joan's House, how does that come down to the practical level of your programming? So got the vision, understand what the hope vision is there.
Yeah.
But practically, what are the programs, the things on the ground that Joan's House is committed to on PG?
For sure. So our very first program was the Jay's Agnew Camera Program. And that's because our overall goal, right, is to strengthen our communities. And that comes from a lot of different angles. You have to feel safe at home. You have to feel secure at home. And you have to try and find ways for crime prevention and to deter that violence and just crime in general. So our very first program was the Jay's Agnew Camera Program, where we provided security cameras for qualified residents, eligible residents in Prince George's County and District 8, where we came in and we provided them with the system free of charge. We installed it. We taught them how to use it, make sure they were comfortable with it, make sure that we had their input in what placements do you want on the home? What are you most concerned about? Do you have areas you're concerned about, things you've been through that you wish you could have had footage of and things of that nature? So we came in, installed the system, taught them how to use it, make sure they were comfortable with it. And then we've got a lot of great feedback from that program. That was our very first one. After that...
Before you go on, how many people are we talking that were impacted?
So far, 500 homes have been impacted. And the goal is to double that number by the end of the program.
Oh.
So we want to have impacted at least 1,000 from our first iteration of this program. And should it be successful, and should we have, if people deem it as a program that they find valuable for the community, we'd be happy to do more. Happy to partner with more folks and do what we need to do to expand this program. But by the end of it, we'd like to impact 1,000 homes. So our second program was the scholarship program, which was something that was very important and dear to me. Something I've always wanted to make sure that we did, because coming from a higher ed background in post-secondary education access, starting from the beginning of my career, even going back as far as me applying to college, I was only able to go to my dream school because of a scholarship. Otherwise, I couldn't afford it. And we all know that finances tend to be a huge burden in people considering going to college. And it's actually a make or break decision for some folks. Some folks say, hey, I can't go to college because I can't afford it. So scholarship is something that was always very important to me. So we were very excited to be able to launch our second program, which was the scholarship program. And then our first year, we were able to award about 55 scholarships totaling around $130,000 for students to go to different, whether it be trade programs, whether it be higher education institutions, or anything of that nature, because we didn't want to just limit it to the idea that you can only go to a 4-year institution and that's it. There's people who want to go different routes. They want to go to trade school. They want to go to community college first. And those are all things that were allowed under this program. So we wanted to just alleviate that burden for people who had passion and they had aspirations to get an education. How can we help do that? So the scholarship program was our second program, and I was very excited about. We had a beautiful banquet, scholarship banquet. We invited all of the families out. We had catered food. We had, it was formal. We had speakers. We had keynotes. We had a lot of guests from the community. We had, like Senator Muse came and spoke. A lot of people who were honored or honorees that we put scholarships in their name came. So we had Albert Jenkins come, who he was like a craftsmanship, that kind of scholarship. We also had public figures come who were a part of the scholarships that are being honored as well. So different people who are mentors and have made great impacts in their own careers were honored through this scholarship program as well. So I was very excited about that. I happy to see that come together when everyone did come together.
Yeah. And I think, again, it goes back to that point of connecting that intergenerational piece.
For sure.
Honoring those who have put so much into this community and loved on this community and telling their story, their legacy with someone who's now at the kind of forefront of building their own legacy by starting their academic careers by way of the scholarships and opportunities that Joan's House provide. I think that's beautiful, and I think it's very intentional.
So another program that we launched last year that we kicked off was the Senior Lawn Care Program. And that program was super important to me because, like I mentioned, we have some of our seniors who work so hard their whole lives to get back into work and to, grow their families and all these things. But as you get older, sometimes you lose resources and you lose the physical ability to be able to keep up with the maintenance of your home. And there was a big, very popular program. We had a lot of interest in this program from our seniors in our community because they wanted to have that pride when they're at home, right? Who doesn't want to have a home that looks beautiful, that they can feel proud of, but feel comfortable in? So we were able to get a lot of interest in that. And we were able to, by the end of the program, we actually impacted about 400, almost 450 homes. And it's been one of our most popular programs. Everywhere I go, it's like, oh, you did the lawn care. Oh, thank you so much. It transformed our homes, and like, it just was a big relief for us. And that is something that's important to me because, like I said, I want our seniors to live their best life. I want them to feel as comfortable and as comfortable in their homes and feel prideful about their homes and the things they worked for their whole lives. So that was a very popular program. And I remember one home in particular, and I won't say the name, but there was one of our seniors, one of our neighbors, hasn't been able to do maintenance on her home in over a decade. She lost her husband, unfortunately, and she didn't have the family. She lived by herself. So her backyard had been overcome with trash and trees that were overgrowing, bushes that were overgrowing. And that was one thing that we were able to help her clean up. We cleaned up her entire backyard free of charge to her. And I just remember the feeling I felt going to her home and speaking with her and just how grateful she was to have someone like Joan's House in our contract with DLC Landscaping, who is a Black-owned business actually in District 8. I'll be able to come in and just relieve that pressure off of her. She cried. And I had to fight back my tears because it was just a beautiful moment. It was a reminder that these services are needed. They're very important. And something as simple as cutting someone's yard every 2 weeks can really make a difference and, bring a smile to their face and love their heart. So
Yeah.
I love being able to do that.
And I think it's important. I love what you just brought to the forefront of this conversation is that even though we have the spreadsheets and the data and all of that, all of those things are byproducts of people's real lives and real experiences. And that's just the tool of communication by way of the impact that was made individually. So when you talk about, yes, we're talking 447 homes that were impacted, beyond that, how it impacted every single one of them individually.
Exactly.
Is really beautiful. And I think it's really powerful that Joan's House is committed to programming that's not just about the big shiny bells and whistles, but how we're impacting the everyday life of those that we serve in our community so they can continue to live out their best lives, as you mentioned earlier, as well. And I think there's one more program.
So we have a youth academy. So it's a District 8 student leadership academy. Sometimes they call it youth academy, but they are all synonymous. It's all the same thing. So within the youth academy, we were able to have 4 different cohorts of students, all from District 8. So we work with 3 high schools, and then we also wanted to make sure that we incorporated those who are homeschooled as well, because there are a lot of folks that are in our community that do choose to go the homeschool route. So we work with Friendly High School, Crosstown High School, and Oxon Hill High School. And then again, our 4th cohort was the students who are made school from home or private schools. So within each cohort, we had 20 students. So a total of 80 students we were able to work with. And throughout the duration of the program, and even through this summer, we've exposed them to a lot of different opportunities. So that's professional development with things like mock interviews and mentorship. There's weekly sessions where there's a different topic that's covered each week. And the students are given the opportunity to develop themselves in different ways. So their presentation skills, their resumes, their interviewing skills, they're all things that I've been able to focus and hone in on and get opportunities to really claim their independence and who they are, but then also showcase their skills and what they've learned. And our director of the program, Jonathan Harris, and along with Angelo, has done an amazing job with that program because these students have completely been transformed. I've seen students who came in on day 1 who were shy, came in with their heads down, shoulders shrugged, and then they leave with confidence and they're leading workshops and they're planning events. And this is the type of thing that I think is so impactful and needed because we're creating the leaders of tomorrow who continue this work forward once we're up long gone.
Yeah.
So the Leadership Academy has been a beautiful, wonderful thing to watch grow. And we're excited for it to continue to grow in the coming years. So as we continue to make impacts and we continue to inspire other students who are now interested in this program, the program can grow and we can impact more students and provide more opportunities. So I think even right now, the kids in Leadership Academy are in Puerto Rico. And they've been to places like Chicago and New York and South Carolina, and they've just been having an amazing time. And they come back and they tell us the stories and how excited they are, what they've seen. And I mean, there's nothing better. There's nothing better.
No, I absolutely love that. One of the things I kind of realized this when I got into my college career, the one thing that I can contribute to changing my life more than anything is exposure, right? The ability to know there's something beyond what you imagined or thought does actually exist.
Yep.
And then the additional part of that is being able to accept, to have affirmed that it is accessible to you.
Yes.
And I think Joan's House is doing that. And I'm smiling so hard on the other side of this camera because, I mean, you're talking about Chicago, New York, Puerto Rico. I mean, places that are some people's lifetime dream to even go visit.
Yeah.
And the other day we went to the Washington Nationals game.
Yes.
Right? Which is literally, 5 miles? Right, wait, from many of their other streets.
Yeah.
And 50% of the students said they never even been to a Nationals game.
Correct.
So we can imagine that same percentage when it comes to a South Carolina, Chicago, New York, or even Puerto Rico.
Canada. Yeah.
And the fact that Joan's House is providing that to them, I don't know how you don't get excited about the opportunity, and their food trip is rather than this.
I have goosebumps right now.
Yeah. And to know that that is all happening by way of this organization that you developed alongside community members, governmental agencies, all these different entities that are committed to bettering our world for both our youth and seniors as well. I want to frame that with a future reference or tense, if we can, for a second.
For sure.
So we talk about the 4 programs that you have now, and I'm sure there's so many more plans and goals for Joan's House. Looking to launch a newer program here within the 2025 year. Can you tell us more about what the future of that looks like?
So a new program that we're super excited about that is launching in the fall is the District 8 Youth and Young Adults Jobs Program, which we're also doing in collaboration with Chairman Burrow's office, along with a lot of other community members who are going to be a part of making this series. Because we're going to have a whole series in addition to employment opportunities, a reality. So what this essentially looks like is we're going to take 15 to 24-year-old applicants who are interested in either career exposure, who are going to be getting their first job, or those who are interested in changing career paths, or those who are interested in starting and launching their career because they know what they want. They may be 23, 24, have had different jobs, and now it's like, so how do I start my career? We want to take all of those different age groups and give them the exposure and connect them to the employment opportunities that they seek. And beyond just giving them access to employment opportunities, we also want to develop them. So there will be a professional development series that corresponds with their experience while they're on the job. So not only are they going to be able to get a paycheck, because every experience that's going to be a part of this, every participant will have a paid experience, which we're really excited about, 15 to 24. But they're also going to have workshops baked into their experiences. So there's going to be different tracks. You can do an internship, you can do an apprenticeship or on-the-job training. We're also working on an experience where you can do your entrepreneurial endeavors as well. We're developing that one, but we want to start with the job placements. And what that looks like is we're partnering with a number of different businesses, both within and our surrounding communities. And that's going to be across different industries as well. So that's going to be healthcare, there's going to be trades, that's going to be law enforcement, law, restaurant industry, hospitality. We want to be able to provide a wealth and a breadth of different opportunities for all different walks, students and walks of life, participants in walks of life that want to explore and just get an opportunity to get exposure to this. Even small businesses, which I think is very important, because to know, like, I can start my own business and I have someone in my backyard who's done it and is doing it, and I can learn how to wear every hat in a small business, I think it's just as valuable as going to a big firm, like going to work for someone as big as Apple or Microsoft. I think we want to provide all those opportunities, and that's what we're really excited about in developing this program. So like I said, it's launching in the fall. It's taking up a lot of our days, a lot of our mental capacity, a lot of our time, but we love it. And we were able to bring on a lot more people on our team to help with this too. So we didn't want to just launch a program without the experts at the table. So we brought in people who have workforce development backgrounds to help build this thing out and make it a success. So we're very, very, very excited about it.
Love that. So I want to kind of take all of that, because to know that the organization was just started just a few years ago, that is a lot of work. That is a lot of impact. Can you talk to me a little bit about tracking, accountability measures? What are those things that are in place to really help you, one, like verify and validate all the work that you're doing?
Sure.
but help you also use that to tell the story of Joan's House. So what does that piece of the operational side of things look like?
Definitely. So one thing that we know, just coming from the background that I come from an educational standpoint, but then also just having worked in the nonprofit sector, we know that one part of the work is doing it, but it's just as important to be able to tell the impact. So we take a lot of measures for evaluation, and what that looks like is getting feedback from people who participated in our programming. So what went well, what didn't go so well. We have surveys, and we really value that feedback because it helps us come up with a stronger program design every time we are revamping a program, or even in the middle, we change courses sometimes. So you have to do a lot of pivoting in this line of work, and flexibility and pivoting has been two of the biggest words that I communicate to my team and just to myself. Pivoting and being flexible is just important in this line of work in general, because once you get that feedback from a participant that maybe this didn't go so well, how do you then incorporate that to be better next time? So evaluations and surveys are very important, feedback from the community, but then also just tracking data, just generally speaking. So who have we impacted? We keep a database of everybody we've ever interacted with. And we also continue to get feedback from them and then loop them in to other things, to different programs. So if you are eligible for another program that we have and you've done it in the past, we have the information and we have that data from you so that we can now re-engage you and keep you engaged with Joan's House and our programming. So you can, again, live your best whole life, because we want to serve the whole of the person. But I think it's, and not to mention, there's also audits. So we do private audits as well, that's required, but then we also have gone through a public audit. So making sure that we're accountable to the government and any funds that we get from local government, that's being tracked. We do our quarterly reports. We stay up to date. We're very tight with those folks at OMB who we give our reporting to. So a lot of different measures we take to make sure that we can measure the impact, but then also communicate that impact. And we're very transparent. We're a transparent organization, and we want people to know what's happening and know that we are trusted partners here. And that somebody, if you come to Joan's House, you come into a place that has integrity, and that will deliver on our promises and deliver results.
So, yeah, thank you for that. Starting to wrap us up here. When we started the interview, we talked a little bit about open-ended statement of when I think of,
I think of a place.
Yeah. Like when you think of the community, right? When you think of PG now, I want to kind of frame this back in that same thought, but future tense.
Yeah.
So when I think of the future of the community, ... I think of.
When I think of the future of the community, I think of having folks who have been engaged with us from day one, or who are just going to join us the day of, and them being able to associate Joan's House with a feeling of love, support, and family. So I want folks to, even once they've interacted with us or interacted with one of our programs, I want them to carry that with them and be like, Joan's House really made an impact on me, or Joan's House really is here as somebody that is a trusted partner in our community who really supports us. I want our name to be synonymous with good work, support, resources, trust. I want us to be an organization where anybody can come that has a need, and we can somehow help or serve or connect you to where you need to be. I want us to be able to grow and expand. I want us to be able to impact more students. I want us to be able to impact more homes. I want more communities to feel safe, because we're able to grow in that way that's intentional, but is also efficient and effective. I want to be able to go across Prince George's County. I want to be able to go beyond Prince George's County one day, maybe even, but it has to be done with love. And if we can't do it the way that we're doing it now, where we're being intentional and actually caring about the folks that we're impacting, then I'm okay with not ever having to get that big. But I want to impact as many people as we can, and bridge as many resource gaps as we can across the folks that we hope to impact.
Yeah. So final question to you, Mr. Romel. How can we, community, help you be a part of building that vision?
Definitely. So there's a lot of opportunities for volunteering. So I also want to shout out our volunteers, because none of this would be possible without volunteers, the people who care about this work, and people who show up because they have the same heart that we have for the work. So you can always volunteer. Reach out to us. We have information on our website, so you can get in contact with us. We would love to invite you to any of our programming. If you want to donate, there's opportunities to donate as well. And we have been very blessed to have gotten donations from people who believe in us, who have been impacted by our work, and we want to be able to continue to do that. And the only way we can continue to move forward is if we do have the resources. So I have to be real about that. And it's nonprofit work, so it's a little different. So we do need that support as well. So if there's opportunities for us to apply for different things, or if you know of resources or things that you can point us in a direction for people who might share a vision with us, that might want to work with us and partner with us, that's an opportunity as well. And then also, if you live in one of the areas in which we can impact or we can give you resources, call us out. Let us know what you need, and we'll see if we can find a way to help you as well. So I think our community can just support us, volunteer, give back, donate your time, your resources, whatever you may have. But then also just come get involved if you need anything as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramel. This has been awesome. Thank you. Thank your team. Thank Grandma Joan. Thank the entire group for helping to make this vision a reality and impacting lives across PG the way that you currently do now, and hopefully even beyond that in the future. So thank you for your time today out here.